So there was a day recently where I went to school, and I just remember the entire day just felt bad. I just felt like I was in a rut the entire day. I felt like I wasn't getting almost any meaningful work done. I was stressed out. I was unproductive. I was bored. I was just like every bad emotion you could think of, I was feeling it that entire day of school. And I was thinking later in the day, why was I feeling this way? And there was one common denominator between every single thing that I did throughout that entire day of school. Every time I was working on something, whether it was for a class or for even something else, I wasn't focused. I was just allowing my mind to drift between thing to thing. I was never once paying attention in any one of my classes. I was thinking of like 3 different things at the same time, all the time throughout the entire day. And as a result, the day was just terrible. An example of this is I was in a class and I remember I was paying almost no attention to what was being said in the class. I was just working on other stuff on my computer, just pretending like it wasn't even happening. It made me realize it seems like pretty much everybody in society these days is just purposely doing things that is going to make their life less enjoyable than would be otherwise. The best example of this is focus. People love social media. They say they enjoy going on their phones all the time. They hate doing any kind of focused work. But at the end of the day, you enjoy life the most when you're actually focusing on something meaningful, not when you're just scrolling on social media aimlessly or allowing your attention to drift off between like a million different things at the same time. You enjoy life the most when you're focused on one specific thing and you allow yourself to just pay attention to that one thing with all your attention that you have. It's really unbelievable what people are doing to their lives. People, especially those in Gen Z, oftentimes say, I hate focusing, I hate studying, I hate doing homework, I hate going to school. But what did they replace the time with? They replace it with stuff like social media and just scrolling mindlessly on their phone. They think that gives them more enjoyment and more value than actually focusing would, but it really doesn't. Maybe for a little bit of time, but almost not at all in the long term, and not even really in the short term either. It's actually kind of stressful when you're not focusing, because when you don't have some kind of clear thing that you're just focusing on in your work, it makes you feel a little bit stressed out because you don't really know the best way to be using your time. You don't really know whether you're making the right decisions. You're constantly questioning what you're doing and whether that was the best use of your time and whether there's something else better you could have done. So as a result, I learned from this. The next day in school, I made an effort to really pay attention as much as I possibly could. I focused in all of my classes, and I noticed significantly by the end of the day, I was just feeling much better than I had been the day before. I was feeling much more relaxed. I felt like I was actually accomplishing something that day rather than just going through the motions as I was the day before. Not only that, I was strengthening my mind because I was forcing myself to focus on something important. I was forcing myself to practice focusing, basically. An actionable step I'd recommend for you watching is try to set at least 1 to 2 hours every single day to just focus on something, just one task. It doesn't even matter what the task is. It could be homework. It could even be something like not too productive like video games, but just forcing yourself to focus on one thing for a decent amount of time. It helps build your focus. Like focus is a muscle, and by doing stuff like that, it gives you more skill in their field. It allows you to focus more on other stuff as well, so that way you can get more stuff done in all areas of your life. This has been Jimmy, signing off.